where everybody wants to be, and Aberdeen need to try and get through this game because it's a massive coup for attracting players.
And it's that bit different. It's teams that you don't face week in, week out. That's the problem I feel with Scottish football, is you can get stale because you're playing against the St Mirrens, the Dundees, the whatever, 4 times a season, whereas you're going to play against these sort of teams once in your lifetime, really. This is only the 6th club that Aberdeen have ever played twice against in European competition in 52 years. So that adds to the specialness of the thing. But if we can get a result tonight, this could go down in what is already a pretty good European history attached to this club, but it'll go down as one of the great nights if we can turn this tie around.
Absolutely. Well, the Rijeka players are in the tunnel. Aberdeen just making them wait for a couple of minutes, but we're very shortly be getting underway. Crowd-wise, the away fans are in the away section. There are only about 150 of them, but they're housed over there. But we're expecting close on 15,000, we hope. So it's quite a nice night. So you would have thought.
You would hope that people would look at this and say, well, I want to be there. Or you would hope that people would look at this and say, well, I want to be there, or to be able to say to my grandchildren in years to come, I was there the night that we turned round a 2-0 deficit against Rijeka. If it doesn't happen that way, then people will forget the game quickly, but it would be nice to think that people would make the effort to come along, get behind the team, because there's no question if we create an atmosphere, it can put the opposition under a little bit of pressure. We saw the change that a goal can make last Thursday, because it was very quiet. It was a bit of jeering and whistling from the Croatians, and then all of a sudden you'd have thought there was about 30,000 in the stadium. The noise that they made last week once they got their goal, and that really lifted the team, and they looked at a different proposition altogether in the last half hour of the game.
And the firework display at the end was more fireworks than we get at New Year here in Aberdeen.
Well, there's more fireworks than there probably were in Istanbul last night when Liverpool won the Super Cup, so it showed how much it means to them. And speaking to some of the Rijeka club staff, this match means an enormous amount to them, so this will not be an easy tie for Aberdeen, but we go into it with great optimism and the hope that, as I said, it's going to be marked down in the annals of Aberdeen's European history as one of the great nights, to go alongside Copenhagen, to go alongside Bayern Munich, to go alongside the comeback against Újpest Dózsa 35 years ago.
Well, teams are coming out now. Ground is filling up nicely. We're just a few minutes, 3 minutes or so away from kick-off.
And a colourful display away to our left.
Great display. Well done again to the guys for the display away to our left, as Andrew said. And
so I'll just quickly run through the teams for Aberdeen. Joe Lewis, Shea Logan, Greg Leigh, Andrew Considine, Scott McKenna, Niall McGinn, Ryan Hedges, Sam Cosgrove, Lewis Ferguson, John Gallagher and Funso Ojo. On the bench, Thomas Cherney, Michael Devlin, James Wilson, Curtis Main, Conor McLennan, Dean Campbell and Zach Viner. For Rijeka, it's Andrei Prskalo, Roberto Punčec, Ivan Lepinjica, Zoran Kvržić, their captain, Tibor Halilović, Dario Župarić, Maxwell Acosty, Antonio Čolak, Momčilo Raspopović, Luka Capan and Stjepan Lončar. On the bench, Ivor Pandor, the goalkeeper, Darko Velkovski, Matej Vuk, Robert Murić, João Escoval, Daniel Iglesias and Rovje Smolcic. Match referee tonight is Harald Lechner from Austria, who, interestingly enough, in his career has officiated in 419 games. Many yellows do you reckon he's handed out?
Oh, there must be some ridiculously high amount.
1,811. 126 reds.
Oh dear.
And 113 penalties.
Good.
It's the first time he's been in Scotland, but he did referee Hungary against Scotland March last year. So Scott McKenna has been refereed by him, but 1,800 yellows and 126 reds suggests a disciplinarian to me.
Yes, it does indeed. Well, the formality's almost over. Players just geeing each other up before we start.
Both sides in the same kits as they were in last week.
And we're attacking the goal as we like to in the first half. The goal in front of the Merklin family stand. So we're about to get underway. Aberdeen against Rijeka, the Croatians holding a 2-goal lead from the first leg, and in the company of Michael Hart to take you through the first half of the first half. Here's Andrew.
Well, this is Aberdeen's 70th home tie in Europe. We've scored 140 goals in the previous 69, so we average just in excess of 2 goals a game. We need 2 goals in the 90 minutes at least if we're to progress. If we win 2-0, it goes to extra time. If it's still undecided after extra time, it goes to penalties. Fortunately, Willie Miller is working for the BBC in the stand with us, so he won't be out there to miss a penalty as we get underway. And immediately Aberdeen have the ball on the left hand side, and the first free kick of the game is conceded by Rijeka, as I think it was the number 13 there, Župarić, who bundled into Sam Cosgrove. Free kick taken quickly to Ryan Hedges. Hedges plays it forward. It's nodded clear out to this near side where Andrew Considine will get to it. Lays it back to Shea Logan. Logan infield to Hedges. Hedges plays it forward looking for Gallagher, but it's turned away, but Hedges gets it again. Gallagher trying to burst into the area. It's all a bit scrambly at the edge of the area, but Capan Lončar comes away with the ball, holds off Considine, but his attempted ball forward is cut out by Logan, who will play it back to Joe Lewis. And Aberdeen on the front foot in the opening minute, just as I'm sure Derek McInnes has said to them, you've got to get right in the faces of Rijeka. Here's Cosgrove, breaks to Ojo, his attempted ball forward blocked, but Logan picks it up, plays it back to Considine. And as you said, Michael, you know, a good quick start, give the fans something to shout about, and they will make a noise.
Getting at them is where they need to be. Just a bit more cautious at the back, just to make sure that when you do press forward, you've got a comfortable shape. Bit more cautious at the back, just to make sure that when you do press forward, you've got a comfortable shape.
Played forward, and Cosgrove goes down, but no free kick given on that occasion. Played forward, and Cosgrove goes down, but no free kick given on that occasion. Župarić okay with that challenge. It's Halilović who plays it out to Maxwell Acosty. As the ball's played across to this near side to Raspopović. Now it's back with Punčec, centre back. Punčec forward. Halilović, the number 8, gives it back to Punčec once again. Halilović, who came on to a strong game in the second half out in Croatia last week. Plays a good ball down the right hand side, but that's good defending. Croatia last week plays a good ball down the right hand side, but that's good defending. And the most experienced European campaigner in the Rijeka side. He's played well in excess of 35 European ties for them. He's played well in excess of 35 European ties for them. McKenna and Considine have got a big part to play in this game tonight. McKenna and Considine have got a big part to play in this game tonight. They've got to keep the back door shut to allow the fullbacks to push forward. Logan plays it forward, but it's headed away, and Lončar, Joe Lewis all in green tonight. First time ball forward, Cosgrove rises. Joe Lewis all in green tonight. First time ball forward, Cosgrove rises, heads it across to the left, but it's picked up by Acosty. Gets away from McGinn, drives forward past 2 players still. Acosty, a great challenge at the edge of the area by Considine, but the ball breaks to Halilović on the right hand side. But again, Considine's in there, typifying the spirit that is needed for this Aberdeen side if they're to get through this tie tonight. But they've won it back, and there, that's a poor challenge going in there on Sam Cosgrove, and that will be a free kick. And Cosgrove just saying to the ref, Cosgrove, and that will be a free kick. And Cosgrove just saying to the ref that caught Cosgrove, so it's a free kick just inside the Rijeka half. That caught Cosgrove, so it's a free kick just inside the Rijeka half. But 2 wonderful pieces of defending from Andrew Considine.
Yeah, they needed it through and goal, so great defending for Andy.
He was one of their most impressive players last week, Acosty. One of their most impressive players last week, Acosty.
He was very quick, the Ghanaian. That's a poor ball this time from Andy Considine, and it's picked up by Halilović, the main playmaker, it would appear, in the middle of the park. Knocks it ball in field, be picked up by Hedges, who nods it into the path of Cosgrove. But ball in field, be picked up by Hedges, who nods it into the path of Cosgrove. But that looked like another free kick, but the ball breaks for Hedges, so the referee can. That looked like another free kick, but the ball breaks for Hedges, so the referee says play on. Out it goes to the left hand side to Niall McGinn. McGinn up against Kvržić. McGinn drops the shoulder, plays it into the middle, comes through, it's lofted up in the air, and Prskalo goes in there, and well, a free kick given for a push by Sam Cosgrove on one of the Croatian defenders. It's the number 29, Momčilo Raspopović, and that will be a free kick in the 6-yard area. And I think we've got to get the wide men onto the ball and try and stretch the game and get quality crosses into the area and put this
Park under and then getting the ball wide. It wasn't the best cross in the world, but it's a cross into the box. Park under and then getting the ball wide. It wasn't the best cross in the world, but it's a cross into the box. And you're right, we need to keep getting the balls into the box.
Well, it was Acosty winning that header against Lewis Ferguson went in and won the challenge under under severe pressure from Capan, and somehow Harold Lechner sees that as a Rijeka free kick. I really can't quite understand that one. Well, what? And then the player goes over, but it's a free kick just outside the centre circle. And then the player goes over, but it's a free kick just outside the centre circle to Rijeka. Taken short by Lepinjica to Župarić, out to Kvržić. Kvržić plays it forward. Acosty holds on to the ball, and then is fouled there by Funso Ojo, who is yellow carded for his first foul of the game. Told you this boy liked a card. And
it's ridiculous. So
that is, I mean, after only 6 minutes and his first challenge of the game to yellow card a player, to put him under pressure for the remaining 84 minutes of the game, that's poor refereeing. It's poor game management by the referee.
You don't mind them pulling a card out of some. I think for me the referee's got that wrong, but as you said at the start of the game, what is it, 4 bookings for every game if you break it down? So
yeah, 4.5 bookings a game. A red every third game. 4.5 bookings a game. A red every third game.
Keys and get money on the bookies.
Well, actually, could have said
Keys and get money on the bookies.
Well, actually, could have said Funso Ojo would have been a stick on for a booking just with the combative nature of his game. But here's the free kick into the area. It's too high. It's headed clear there by Sam Cosgrove back defending, but Lončar has it. It's knocked out wide to the captain Kvržić, but Andy Considine's in there to win the ball, plays it forward to Hedges. Hedges breaks out of defence, gives it to McGinn. McGinn, nice ball into the middle of the park to Ojo. Ojo pulled down there by Lončar, and the referee says play on. Well, there's 2 sets of rules obviously in this game, as Čolak tries to break forward, and then Leigh wins the challenge there and well, knocks it infield to Ojo. Ojo, you could see he was going to go for that ball and then thought twice about it, but McGinn saying come on, you've got to get wired in. But a referee like that, it's obvious you're going to think twice when you're on a yellow.
It's a scrappy start, but Aberdeen are up for the fight. You can clearly see that, and they're getting the fans behind them with some of the tackles going on.
Well, here's Logan down the line for John Gallagher. Gallagher trying to outmuscle Punčec. Punčec does well, just stands his ground, knocks the ball out of play for the throw in to the Dons. Just down almost on a level with the 18-yard box. It's Logan on the Aberdeen right as we attack the family stand end of Pittodrie. Plenty of bodies forward as Logan throws it in short to Hedges. Hedges brings it under control, knocks it back to Logan. Time to measure the cross. It's not a good one, didn't beat the first man, but it's a hurried clearance and it's out of play for another throw in. Shea's better than that crossing wise. Hedges tries to get something going, but he's done exceptionally well to hold on to the ball, Ryan Hedges, and he's won the corner kick for Aberdeen. And then Raspopović goes down as though he's been shot by a sniper. But Hedges, if there's anybody up for the battle, it's Ryan Hedges, judging by that.
Yeah, it's a good play. You can clearly see they're up for it tonight, which is going to set up for a good game here.
Well, it's going to be a physical battle. I think it's fair to say that's going to happen as Niall McGinn comes across to take the corner kick. Right footed, it'll be the outswinger from the right hand side, aimed towards the penalty spot. Picks out Rijeka defender there. It's headed out towards the centre circle. Logan will knock it back out to the left. John Gallagher whips the early ball into the middle. Oh, McKenna's header hit Cosgrove, and it's eventually booted clear, but Acosty now has got a lot of space to drive into. Greg Leigh and John Gallagher racing to get back as Acosty drives forward down the right. Knocks it back to Kvržić. Kvržić into the middle. A chance. Good. And it's in the back of the net. The breakaway goal that we feared has been scored. And I think is it the number 14? No, 14's Acosty. Trying to see who it was that got the final touch on it. Ball was played into the near post. It was a good break. And it's Capan Lončar, I think, who's scored the goal, which gives Rijeka the lead. The ball was played in by the captain Kvržić in between Logan and Leigh, and Capan Lončar had made the run into the area, diverts it past Joe Lewis, and in the 10th minute it is Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 1.
Exactly what we didn't want.
Well, 4 goals needed now as Punčec plays that ball off Lewis Ferguson out of play, but the assistant referee didn't see it, even though he was only 10 yards from it, and gives the throw to Aberdeen. So an attacking platform for the Dons. Hedges tight to the byline, gets it back to Logan. Logan crosses into the middle. Cosgrove got the header but couldn't divert it goalwards. Right behind it goes for the goal kick. 11 on the clock. Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 1. Michael, just what we didn't want.
Oh, against the run of play, Aberdeen attacking, corner kick, ball in the box, and then the break down the right hand side. Not even a great ball in, but nobody marking the man in the middle of the park. And great finish for the boy, but hard one to take.
Unfortunate thing with the corner was that Scott McKenna got the header and it was blocked by Sam Cosgrove.
Yeah, so they just got in each other's way, didn't they? But again, it was too easy a break down the right hand side. This is what I'm saying about being cautious and attacking more in the second half. You know, now we've got the mountain to climb.
Well, the ball's with Joe Lewis. Capan Lončar, who played for Siroki Brijeg against Aberdeen 2 years ago, I think it was, comes back to haunt Pittodrie in the colours of Rijeka tonight as Funso Ojo picks the ball up in the middle of the park, knocks it back to Shea Logan. Logan back to Considine. Considine will play it square to Scott McKenna. McKenna, forward it goes, but cut out too easily from an Aberdeen perspective there by Lepinjica. Gets it forward to Čolak. Čolak has got Acosty outside and that's where it goes. Acosty cuts inside. It's the number 8 who tries the shot. On that occasion, that was Halilović. Rijeka have got a spring in their step. They've got their away goal that Rijeka have got a spring in their step. They've got their away goal that they were craving, and now they're 3-0 up in aggregate. And as I say, it's a mountain for the Dons to climb. But I suppose if you're going to concede early, because it gives you the maximum amount of time to get back. But I think we'll have to get ourselves back at least. They can score 4 in the second half. But here's Hedges, thinks it forward, looking for the run of Niall McGinn, but it's too strong and it will just run out of. Thinks it forward, looking for the run of Niall McGinn, but it's too strong and it will just run out of play for the goal kick to Rijeka.
There's going to be an open game. Aberdeen now need to go for it. There's no point in holding back anymore. You know, he may as well get beat 2-3, 4-0, but at least they've got to have a go. Or you know, he may as well get beat 2-3, 4-0, but at least they've got to have a go.
Yeah. Our home form this season has been very good. Wins against Rops, against Chikura and against Hearts. But a big win here, Larnaca, in the 4th qualifying round of the Europa League. At the moment that looks a tall order as Rijeka have the ball, but they've lost it in the middle of the park and it's fed back to Joe Lewis. It was Lepinjica who was just a wee bit slow on the ball, got robbed. Here's Funso Ojo. Forward it goes to Lewis Ferguson. Ferguson back to Considine. Ferguson plays it up the park, but again not able to pick out a red shirt, and it's easily fed back to Prskalo, but really hasn't had a serious save to make in this tie as yet, as Greg Leigh gets his head onto that ball. Considine gets to it, knocks it across to this near side. Hedges, but Shea Logan racing up outside him. Still Hedges, knocks it forward to Logan. Logan back to Hedges. Hedges has got Ferguson inside. Ferguson moves away from Capan. Hedges once again, knocks it square to Scott McKenna, 10 yards inside the Rijeka half. Out now to Leigh. Forward it goes to Niall McGinn. McGinn has got 2 or 3 Rijeka players out there for company, but still keeps it. And then it's a slack ball in field and an opportunity for Capan to spring a break. Gives it to Halilović. Out now wide to Kvržić. Being made by Halilović into the box, but he can't pick him out, and the ball runs through to Joel. Being made by Halilović into the box, but he can't pick him out, and the ball runs through to Joel. When the breakdown either wing, particularly down the right hand side, Acosty holds on to it and just waits for somebody to make the burst into the box, and Acosty holds on to it and just waits for somebody to make the burst into the box. And unfortunately the first one wasn't tracked and it cost us a goal, and that one wasn't tracked, but on that occasion the pass wasn't quite good enough to pick out Halilović.
They're just comfortable to sit behind the ball and then hit us in the break, Andrew. That's what they're waiting for. Them when they do get the ball, that Aberdeen are pushed that far forward, that they're finding the gaps.
Yeah, and they've got a fair bit of pace about them this side, but at the moment they're in a rigid defensive formation, and Stepan Lončar, the goal scorer, prevents the ball forward from Logan. Throw into the Dons. Back it goes to Considine. Almost 16 minutes gone here at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 1 on the night. 0-3 on aggregate. As Andy Considine plays it out to Hedges. Hedges with Lončar. Lončar fouls Hedges and then won't retreat the 10 yards to allow the free kick to be taken quickly. Does get the free kick now back to Andy Considine, to Ferguson. Ferguson, we're going to need his drive in the middle of the park tonight. Knocks it square to Ojo. Ojo forward looking for Greg Leigh, but easily cut out by Acosty, who gets it forward to Halilović. Back to Kvržić. Kvržić, slack ball up the line, out of play for the throw in. Certainly these three, Kvržić, Halilović and Acosty, they combine well on that right hand side, and they just play themselves out of trouble when they get boxed in.
They look good going forward, but they've also got a good back four shape. They don't seem to move, despite Aberdeen strikers trying to move them around. They're all keeping their shape.
And the forward balls just aren't of the quality required to find Aberdeen front men at the moment. Here's another one picked up, but it's given away in the middle of the park side. Gallagher moves away from inside. Gallagher moves away from Raspopović, gives it to Ojo. Ojo out wide, but it's behind Leigh and he has to track back to get it. Considine to this near side to Shea Logan on the touchline to Considine. To this near side to Shea Logan on the touchline to Hedges. Hedges infield. Sam Cosgrove's dropped deep to get some possession. Plays it back to Ojo. Ojo. Logan can't control the pass, and well, Derek McInnes just saying calm down, you know, there's still a long time to go in this game, but just saying calm down, you know, there's still a long time to go in this game, but you know, the quality of the passing from Aberdeen just not quite up to scratch so far. Too many balls are being played behind people that don't get any sort of momentum going forward.
Just to look a bit jaded.
Get any sort of momentum going forward.
Just to look a bit jaded, don't they? They need to calm down. But to be fair to the Rijeka team, they've got a really good shape. They're hard to break down. They're making it hard for Aberdeen. They're making them force mistakes.
Well, here's Halilović under pressure from Considine, but he keeps possession of the ball, does well, gets it across to Acosty. Acosty challenged there by Greg Leigh. The referee says that's a free kick. It didn't look much like a free kick, just looked like a strong challenge, and has to be said, the Rijeka team are very quick to go to ground whenever they feel any sort of physical challenge coming in, and the referee's given them a free kick. It's a good 35 yards out. It's a very central position, and over the ball. It'll be a bit too far out for the direct shot on Joe Lewis's goal, but Halilović does look as though shot on Joe Lewis's goal. But Halilović does look as though, the less said about that one the better. It's gone out of play for a goal kick.
Alberto Morelos has given Rangers the lead at home to Midtjylland. Alberto Morelos has given Rangers the lead at home to Midtjylland. That's 5-2 on aggregate.
They look as though they're on course, and Well, there's a late challenge, and it's going to be a red card for Funso Ojo. The late challenge going in there, and it's just what we said about this referee. You know, that booking for, you know, he's made 2 challenges and he's been ordered off. So it's for his protest. And Capan went down after the challenge from Ojo, and to be honest, it wouldn't for the rest of the night. I think Ojo has been very harshly dealt with by for the rest of the night. I think Ojo has been very harshly dealt with by Harold Lechner, the referee here. The initial booking in the 6th minute was for virtually nothing at all, and then a second booking for his second challenge in the game, and he deems that a red card.
There's just no common sense, is there? They're definitely free kicks, but they're not bookings and a sending off. I mean, this is referee that's wasted the game. This is it's just so frustrating now for Aberdeen players. They're down to 10 men, 1 goal down. Referee's definitely wasting this game now.
Poor refereeing, I'm afraid, but there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to dig even deeper, because with 20 minutes gone, it is Aberdeen 0, 10-man Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 1. Funso Ojo ordered off, so it's Halilović with the free kick, headed away by Hedges, back to Halilović once again, and Raspopović now, surprise surprise, Capan perfectly okay as Acosty moves forward, gives it to Lepinjica, under pressure from McGinn, goes back to Capan. Now it's Punčec, and Punčec barged over there by Sam Cosgrove, and well, didn't look to be an awful lot in that either. The Croatian defender, with a smile on his face, gets back to his feet, and the referee gives him a free kick on the edge of the centre circle. I'm sure there's a lot of fans round the ground are thinking we're playing 12 against 10 now. This free kick's taken short to Punčec. Punčec back to his goalkeeper, Prskalo. Over it goes to Župarić. Župarić leaves it for his captain, Kvržić. Plays it back to the goalkeeper once again. Goalkeeper just taking his time. Gives it to Punčec. Forward, Capan. Now Raspopović. Capan once again. Back to Punčec. Punčec to Lepinjica. To Župarić. Kvržić. Lepinjica. Forward, looking for Lončar. Goes over Lonchar's head, out of play for the throw-in. The first quarter of the game has come and gone. It's not gone to plan at all for the Dons. Down to 10 men with Funso Ojo sent off for a second yellow card. Down by a goal to 0. Dave, take us through to the half-time whistle.
Yeah, the ball with Scott McKenna just taking it out of defence. And of course, Michael, the Rijeka able to keep possession even more easily now with the extra man.
Yeah, all the form teams in Europe always keep the ball, Dave, but you're playing against 10 men, they keep it very, kind of get near them when they get the ball. It's just keep ball for them.
Loose one,
kind of get near them when they get the ball. It's just keep ball for them.
Loose one from Lewis Ferguson. It goes all the way out for a Rijeka goal kick, which will be taken by Prskalo, the goalkeeper. So the odds horrendously stacked against just any set plays that we get. We have to take full advantage.
Yeah, I think when you just get the ball, they need to keep it, because you know that they, when they get the ball, will keep it. So it's try to keep the ball and try and get yourself into better positions than what we have done.
Halilović plays the ball back, and then it goes all the way back to Prskalo, the goalkeeper. Back, and then it goes all the way back to Prskalo, the goalkeeper. He knocks it out to Punčec, then across to Raspopović. Long ball, which is chested down by Scott McKenna. Knocked forward, and John Gallagher had been in an offside position, so he couldn't go for it, and it runs all the way through to Kvržić, the captain. Gallagher recovers, and the ball comes off the Irishman and goes out. He took a bit of a winding there, I think.
Again, McKenna getting the ball at the back. He doesn't have many options, and he's giving it away cheaply, which makes it even more difficult for Aberdeen to to win the ball back.
Yeah, well, he took that one in the head, and it's, obviously can't take any chances with a head knock, because it was a pretty full-blown clearance that John got in the way of there, and Adam Stokes and Gary Ritchie out to attend to the on-loan Atlanta United player.
Yeah, it didn't look like much, but he seems to be staying down for a little bit longer than I thought he would. But maybe he's caught him.
He did catch him. I just watched the replay, and he certainly caught him full in the head with the clearance. So 25 minutes played. Will be some stoppage time, and the main talking point, the referee, unfortunately. It's just like watching domestic games.
I think the more difficult thing, you wish you were playing against a domestic team, because this team look like they can keep the ball under pressure, and then with the extra man, but the referee's just killed it. I mean, he's every decision's gone against Aberdeen at the moment, and like Andrew said, we're definitely playing against 12 men here.
John Gallagher just being standing at the sides as the throw-in's taken. So Aberdeen down to 9 for the moment, and that's going to be a yellow card for Sam Cosgrove. This guy, it's confetti.
It's a daft challenge by Sam, to be fair. I mean, he slid in once the ball had been played back by Kvržić, and the last thing we can do is get more players sent off, because
just
it's
watch
an
the
unnecessary
replay.
challenge.
He's not even caught him though, Andrew.
No, he hasn't.
It's a silly one. It's a slide in, but again, they're playing into the referee's hands.
You're giving the referee a decision to make, and you haven't seen him in action already. I mean, that's the third yellow card that he's dished out of, as well as a red, because he booked Joe Lewis as well.
Free kick taken down the park, headed away by Greg Leigh, picked up by McGinn, but he gets it all wrong, and it goes out of play for throw-in, which will be taken by Kvržić, the captain. Now Acosty, and that ball out off McGinn last. Kvržić will take the throw, finds Lepinjica. Under pressure from John Gallagher, and surprise, surprise, the whistle goes. Played over to Raspopović, intercepted by Ryan Hedges, picked up by Logan, who can't do much but clear the ball into touch for a throw-in to the visitors. We played 27.5 minutes. It's 10-man Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 1, 3-0 on aggregate. Raspopović will take the throw. Boff goes out for the goal kick down there from following the throw-in. Ironic cheers from some of the home fans, the fact that the decision went the way of Aberdeen. Joe Lewis will take it. By the goal scorer Lončar. Throw in to the Dons. By the goal scorer Lončar. Throw in to the Dons. Shea Logan will take it just down in front of us. Back to Considine. Hedges finds Ferguson. Hedges finds Ferguson. Ferguson under pressure gets. Now I don't know why there's no throw. Good play by Lewis. Ferguson gets himself a surprise, surprise, no penalty kick. And he's given a free kick to the Croatians. Bišćan and Derek McInnes in discussions along with the fourth official down in front of us, but Dons have got possession back with the shape of Niall McGinn. Slack ball inside though. Picked up by Rijeka. Here's Lončar. He elects to play it back to Punčec. Punčec gets the ball back again. Now Lepinjica. Župarić forward. Halilović. He's allowed to run far too far. Eventually gets the ball out to Lončar. And the block comes in from Logan at the expense of the first Rijeka corner kick.
It's good play there for Lewis Ferguson. They've been breaking through. Wasn't a penalty, but there could have been a couple of free kicks at the edge of the box, but it's slightly better from Aberdeen.
Right, a corner kick to defend. It's Halilović to take it from the Rijeka left-hand side, right-footed in-swinger. Over it goes, and the header from Lepinjica goes over the bar, and I think referees given a free kick anyway. That's what the cheers are for.
Yeah, it was a push in the back of Leigh as Lepinjica went to head it.
Sam Cosgrove bundled over by Punčec, gets the decision, very central, just inside the Rijeka half, so now McGinn will take it. McGinn forward, away by Acosty. McGinn heads it back again. Acosty gets it again, under pressure from Sam Cosgrove, and the break could be on for Rijeka here. Acosty doing very well, good challenge from Gallagher, but the ball's gone out to the Rijeka player. The header comes in at the far post, and that's number 2. At the far post, and that's number 2. And it's Čolak. And if it wasn't over, it certainly is at 2-0, 4-0 in aggregate. Antonio Čolak, who scored in the first game, makes it Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 2 on the night, 4-0 in aggregate, and again on the counter, Michael.
Yeah, it was great play from the guy Acosty. He drove through the middle of the park, a few Aberdeen players making challenges but couldn't stop him. Played out wide, decent cross in first time, and at the back post in between Joe Lewis's legs. Great goal from them, but disappointing one for Aberdeen. I think that's a difficult thing, David. We're down to 10 men. You've got to try and push and put people in areas, and it exposes you. But you've got a player like Acosty who can pick the ball up in the middle of the park. It's difficult to stop him.
Yeah. Aberdeen go again, and there's Ferguson challenge, fouled by Capan, and
never
Aberdeen
even thought about a card.
No. There's Ryan Hedges. Back to Considine. Considine across to McKenna. Out to Leigh. Cosgrove back to McKenna. Now Logan. And Dean Campbell is going to come on. So an enforced change, or a tactical change, I would think, just to shore up the middle of the park, of course, with Funso Ojo having been sent off. It's Considine and Logan. Lack of communication ends up with a throw-in for the visitors. Lepinjica, Acosty, the captain, Kvržić inside to Capan, Halilović, Lepinjica, Čolak gets the ball across, it's out for the corner kick off Andy Considine, and the change will now be made. It's Niall McGinn who's being sacrificed. Aberdeen. Campbell comes on. Corner kick number 2, 34.5 minutes played. Halilović to take. Over it comes, headed clear, only as far as Kvržić. Out to Lončar, the goal scorer. He cuts inside. Away by Hedges. Picked up by Acosty. Acosty knocks it back. Lepinjica goes for a run, tries a shot, pulls it wide. Goal kick, Aberdeen. Now McGinn being sacrificed.
It's a difficult one. Derek had to do something. They were, it could be more if they don't do something. So they've had to stop the play coming down the middle of the park, which is where these are most dangerous.
Flick on by Sam Cosgrove. Nobody there though in a red shirt. Punčec picks it up. Lepinjica. Halilović. Kvržić. Back to Župarić. Lepinjica. Ball across to Punčec. And Sam Cosgrove takes the ball off the number 4, and Aberdeen in possession with Logan. Logan forward to Hedges. Hedges starting to run at the defence and plays the ball all the way across. It might work for it. It was on its way to John Gallagher before the captain, Kvržić, just stuck out a leg, and at the expense of corner kick number 2 for Aberdeen, which Ryan Hedges will take on the left hand side. 36.5 on the clock. Hedges, over it goes. Sam Cosgrove penalised. Or was it Sam? I think it was.
I think it was Sam, but it's Raspopović just threw himself at Sam and landed in the deck. And
just watching again
as it comes in. He does barge into the back of him as he heads it clear, but you see that happening all the time in a penalty box, Michael, don't you? You expect physical challenges coming in there, but it appears that everything that any sort of offence that Aberdeen commit, it's being picked up. But I mean, to get back to the challenge that was made in Lewis Ferguson, that was worse than either of the 2 challenges that Funso Ojo got his 2 yellow cards for.
I think they're just playing the game now, Andrew. We're forced to put the tackles in. We're getting frustrated, and they're just playing the game, and the referee's buying into it.
Aberdeen in possession with Considine. Out to Logan. Logan forward. Cosgrove. Nice touch to Hedges. Hedges to Campbell. Dean's first touch not the best. That allows Halilović to take over. Then he plays it to Lončar. Lončar through, then again a lack of communication between Joe Lewis and Scott McKenna, because that was just going to run through to the goalkeeper, but Scott nipped in and knocked the ball out for a Rijeka throw.
Big Scott's got to take control there, and he did take control rather than let it go, and the striker getting in, but Joe needs to shout louder. And
yeah, ball's out for an Aberdeen throw this time. Lončar, the player to touch it last. Logan will take the throw. Here's Lepinjica. Now Acosty. Halilović. Lepinjica. Back to Halilović, middle of the park. Then played out to Raspopović. Back to Halilović. Now Lepinjica, lots of space to come forward. Threads it through, looking for Acosty, but Leigh does well just to get between the ball and the Rijeka player and allows that one to run through to Joe Lewis. Lewis flicked on by Cosgrove to Hedges. Hedges back into Sam Cosgrove, shot blocked by the defender, then back across still from Ferguson, but they managed to get it away, but not too convincingly. Here's Sam Cosgrove again inside the area. Sam still gets the ball away to Hedges. Hedges over and Lepinjica heads it clear, and ball's back via Campbell to Scott McKenna. McKenna back out to Dean Campbell. Now Gallagher. John Gallagher. Lewis Ferguson. Now Considine. Considine to Logan. Back to Andy Considine. Ferguson. McKenna. Campbell. Gallagher. Back to Campbell. Better possession from Aberdeen, but not going anywhere near the Rijeka goal at the moment. That's a long ball which is headed away by Raspopović. Bouncing balls picked up by Considine. Gets it to Leigh. Forward to Cosgrove. Now Ferguson. Back to Campbell. Cross to Considine. Logan. McKenna. McKenna to Campbell. Lewis Ferguson. Back to Andy Considine. Rijeka quite happy for Aberdeen to have possession in that area, but they've got it back now. Halilović finds Lepinjica. Then out to Raspopović. Punčec. Halilović. Raspopović. Halilović. Now Kvržić to Halilović. Rijeka enjoying the possession now as Lepinjica tries to play it forward. That wasn't a good one. Looking for Acosty, but it runs all the way through to Joe Lewis, who bowls the ball out to Andy Considine. Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 2, 42 and a half minutes on the clock. Here's Campbell.
Rangers now 2-0 up against Michelin, 6-2 in aggregate. Ojo getting the goal for them.
So the two Ojos having rather differing fortunes this evening. Logan. Back to Andy Considine. McKenna. Now Greg Leigh. McKenna. McKenna looks for Cosgrove, who chests it down. Dean Campbell does well to find Logan, and then in slides Lončar to knock it out for an Aberdeen throw, which Logan takes quickly, and back to Considine. Cross to McKenna. Dean Campbell. Logan back to Campbell.
They've got a really good shape, Dave. They're just quite happy for Aberdeen to keep the ball. They've got their back four that aren't moving. They've got their sitting midfielder just sitting in front of the back four, and Aberdeen can't move them about enough to create any space.
There's Hedges, takes the ball from Gallagher and finds Leigh. Back to John Gallagher. Gallagher does well. Back to Leigh on the overlap. Back out to John Gallagher on the left wing. Gets the cross in, blocked. And then Leigh does well to get his head and finds the ball to Hedges, who tries a shot. That's a save from Prskalo. It's the first save he's had to make, and it was a shot from some distance by Ryan Hedges, but we saw against Hearts how he can finish, and well, the first time that they've made the keeper work.
Yeah, he's getting the fans behind him at least before half time, which is good. Shot a goal, goalkeeper did well, parried it to the side.
Here's Greg Leigh. Long ball looking for Cosgrove, flicks on to Hedges. Back to Cosgrove. Suspicion of a possible handball, but doing a soft win I think for Aberdeen. Lončar comes away with the ball, gets it away, chested by McKenna, picked up by Lewis Ferguson. Back to Considine. Campbell. Ferguson. Logan. 2 minutes added on, which we move into now. Switched over to the left. Gallagher does well to head it down to Greg Leigh. Leigh runs into trouble in the shape of Acosty, tries to get bailed out by Hedges. And there's handball for Acosty.
Still no yellow card.
No,
David.
still no yellow.
They're trying their best to get a yellow card and still can't get one.
Yeah, Lewis saying deliberate handball, which normally is a card offence.
I think even their player was surprised he never got a book in there with the way the referee's been tonight.
Overcomes the cross. Well, no offside there. But there was 4 Aberdeen players looking all offside. It must have been very tight anyway.
I think if one of them had moved towards the ball, then the flag would have gone up. It's that daft rule that until such time as they make a motion towards it, that they won't put the flag up.
Andy Considine penalised for the challenge on Čolak. Free kick inside the Rijeka half, left of centre, which is taken by Punčec. Lepinjica. Kvržić back to Župarić. Here's Capan. Half time here at Pittodrie. It's Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 2, and Aberdeen's European dream looks to be over for another season. Down to 10 men with the harsh sending off of Funso Osho for 2 very soft yellow cards. The goals came on the breaks. Lončar in the 10th minute, knocking the ball past Joe Lewis after he was left unmarked from a Kvržić cross. And then in the 31st minute, Čolak doubling the advantage again on the counter-attack. Aberdeen's best and only chance came when Ryan Hedges, deep in the first half, to take you through the first half of the second half in the company of Michael Hart. Here's Andrew.
Well, I think it's going to be a long 45 minutes plus whatever time is added on. As I say, the tie now looking to have been put to bed by HNK Rijeka. 4-0 up in aggregate, having doubled the advantage that they gained on their own stadium in Croatia last week. Not quite sure what we're waiting for now. Everybody seems to be in place. No further changes to either side. Niall McGinn replaced by Dean Campbell in the 35th minute, as Aberdeen had to change tactically. So the bête noire of this piece, Harold Lechner, gets us underway again for the second half. And it's Andy Considine, European veteran, gives it to McKenna, out now to Greg Leigh. Leigh knocks it off Acosty, out of play for the throw-in, and the Ghanaian Michael has been very impressive on that right-hand side for Rijeka. He's always been the outball for them if they want to take any pressure off them, and he's been good at attacking.
I'm googling him at half time, Andrew. 27-year-old. He looks a right good player. Started at Fiorentina as a kid, and you can see he's got class. He's got good roots about him, and he's got great pace as well. Which is when you're down to 10 men and you give him the ball, there's nothing worse than somebody like that running at you.
Čolak taking a knock there from Scott McKenna. It'll be a free kick to Rijeka, just inside their own half. Yeah, Acosty sort of flattered to deceive a little bit last week. He looked quick, but he never had any end product. Tonight he's had end product. and he looks a very dangerous customer, and not hugely tall, but very good in the air as well.
Yeah, you can see he's got physical strength. He looks like he's got a decent physique, and you can see his pace. And when he's getting the ball tonight, maybe it's just easier that they're down to 10 men. But he's, from what I've seen, he looks like a class player.
Well, it's Župarić on the ball for Rijeka, gives it to Kvržić. Back it goes to Župarić, to Lepinjica, Halilović, and they'll be quite happy just to knock the ball around for the next 45 minutes. Don't pick up any injuries and look forward to probably going to Belgium next week. Ghent drawing 0-0, I think, with HNK Rijeka at the moment in Belgium. 1-1 the first leg, so the Belgians ahead on away goals. As Lewis clears the ball up the park, Cosgrove nods it back into the direction of Hedges and Logan, but bisects the two and knocks it out of play for the throw-in. And certainly Cosgrove doesn't look as though he's carrying any injury at all, as he wins a challenge there. But Rijeka have the ball back again. And back it goes to Župarić, out to Kvržić. Kvržić infield, Lepinjica in the middle of the park, plays it across to Punčec. Out it goes now. And I bet that's Capan. It's over there. In fact, it's Raspopović who's getting a bit of stick from the crowd because he went down. It looked as though he was badly injured, but well, he's getting the old cheat chant from the crowd. Wants the ball, and that's where it's gone. Quite happy to draw the boos of the crowd. As there's Capan coming forward over to Lončar on the left hand side. Lončar coming into the penalty area, goes down very easily under the challenge from Logan. The referee's not buying that, and goes across to speak to Lončar and says, get back your feet. It's a goal kick to Aberdeen. But if he felt he had to go across to speak to him, does he think that he was guilty of simulation?
No, I think he was just saying, what one of their players do you want us to book? I think he's at that point. I think Big Sam needs to watch though. I mean, as much as the Aberdeen fans are taunting the boy for going down too easy, the referee was looking at it a little bit longer, and I think he is on a booking, isn't he? So he
is on a booking, and there's a head knock for Sam Cosgrove as he went to challenge for that ball. And I think it was Luka Capan that he clashed with, but both players are on their feet again. The referee's given the free kick against Cosgrove. I didn't see that he did anything wrong there, but Rijeka have the ball. It's Dario Župarić, comes up towards the halfway line, gives it to his captain Zoran Kvržić, gets it back again. Župarić across to Punčec. Punčec and Župarić exchange passes. It's a big blonde who comes forward. Good looking ball, looking for the run of Acosty, but well read by Joe Lewis, who was quickly off his line to grab that ball before the Ghanaian could get onto it. So Scott McKenna on the ball now, gives it to Considine. And really the Dons finding it oh so difficult to try and get anything going forward. Down to 10 up against a very disciplined Croatian defence. I don't think that back four has ventured into opposition territory at all, has it, Michael? They just do their job.
No, they just keep their shape. They don't need to do any more. They keep their shape. They know that they're never going to be up against more than one man up there, and they're just making it hard for Aberdeen to break them down. And you can hear the Aberdeen fans getting frustrated, but as an Aberdeen player, you just want to keep the ball because it's so hard to get it back off them.
Well, here's Cosgrove driving forward, bundled over. Referee says get up. And Rijeka have the ball once again. It's over on the far side with Lončar. Raspopović back to Punčec. Punčec forward, Lepinjica. And they're quite content just to maintain possession. Raspopović plays it to Lepinjica. They don't have to chase this, they're 4-0 up. And that's a slack ball though, given away by Lepinjica, and John Gallagher racing forward, still Gallagher, and then just forgets to take the ball with him. The moment he goes into the penalty area, and Rijeka able to bring it away oh too easily. Halilović. Now it's Kvržić. Kvržić coming down the right hand side, feeds it in field. Čolak plays it back to Halilović, to Lepinjica. Lepinjica out wide, Raspopović. Now Halilović gets it 30 yards out, plays it out to this right hand side. Acosty beaten though by Leigh, but able to retrieve the situation. Gives it back to Lepinjica in the centre of midfield. He switches play out towards the left hand side, Lončar, but forced to go back the way by the attentions of Ryan Hedges. Finds Lepinjica though. Lepinjica turns away from Cosgrove, gives it to Župarić, to Acosty, who's dropped deep. Kvržić now on the right, knocks it back to the centre back. Župarić will knock it square to Punčec.
Curtis Main is going to come on for Aberdeen shortly.
Župarić, Kvržić. Župarić again. Just keep ball for the Croatians. 2-0 up on the night through Lončar and Čolak. 4-0 up on aggregate as Kvržić plays that ball in. Čolak, offside flag goes up against Čolak. He headed wide in any case, but a tight one that, and the change will be Sam Cosgrove coming off to be replaced by Curtis Main. So if it was a gamble playing Sam Cosgrove tonight, it hasn't really come off. But as Michael said, you know, Sam was on a booking, and you know, you could sense the red mist wasn't just too far away, and maybe the manager recognised that and thought no point in going down to 9, just take Sam off, rest him up for Sunday's cup tie at the Dens Park, and give Curtis Main a run out. So 2 changes made by the Dons. Campbell for McGinn, Main for Cosgrove, and that ball's played forward, headed away by Župarić before Main could get onto it. And Lepinjica knocks it over to the left hand side, where Raspopović will knock it too far in front of him, and it's Logan now to Hedges, back to Logan again, driving down the right hand side. Gives it to Ryan Hedges, infield to Lewis Ferguson. Ferguson, Hedges tried to feed it back out to Logan, but didn't get enough on it, and it's picked up by the Croatians. It's Lončar back defending, comes away from 2, still Lončar out to this near side to Acosty. Acosty moves towards the halfway line, gives it to Halilović. Now it's Kvržić to Lepinjica, back to Kvržić again, and the rotation starts all over again with Župarić to Punčec. Now Lončar out to Capan. Lepinjica challenged. Lewis Ferguson almost got it, but a bit of a defensive mix up there, and McKenna's able to get it clear as Čolak tried to take advantage of hesitation in the Dons' defence, and Andy Considine forced to go back towards his own goal line, but able to shepherd it behind for the goal kick after the ball had broken off one of the Croatians and Capan was giving it chase. But it's been 1 or 2 moments of, you know, not panic, but you know, miscommunication as much as anything else in that Aberdeen defence this evening that have almost created more problems for them.
It's difficult though, Andrew. The time you do get the ball, you've got no options, and then when you don't have the ball, you've got fresh legs coming at you. You know, it's been difficult. These are a good team. They're a very good team, and you know, we're speaking about it at half time, but you never really hear of these European teams, but they're generally very, very good technically. And then when you go down to 10 men, it's a massive challenge to try and compete against these teams.
Morelos has made it 3-0 on the night to Rangers, 7-2 in aggregate against Midtjylland.
I think it's safe to say they'll be playing Legia Warsaw next week, as Punčec knocks it over to the left hand side, played infield by it's Župarić now. Župarić just ambles into the Aberdeen half. He's very rarely ventured across the halfway line. He's having to do a wee bit of work there as Curtis Main put him under pressure, but with the help of his captain, they get it via Punčec to Lepinjica, who finds Capan. Now it's Lepinjica once again. Halilović, Kvržić is in plenty of space, but Halilović doesn't want to give it to him and instead knocks it back to Župarić, to Punčec again. Punčec out wide. Raspopović to Lepinjica. Lepinjica moves it across to the right. Kvržić now in a bit of space, cannot measure across, delivers it towards the far post. There's the header and it's wide, but it came off an Aberdeen defender, and I think the header came in there from Capan. Lončar, Čolak and Capan were all there on the far post for that cross, and the header goes wide for the first corner kick of the second half. As the clock ticks round to 57 minutes, this will be the third corner of the game for Rijeka. The Seagulls flying around Pittodrie. Half-time pies haven't quite been finished, and there must be a few that the Seagulls fancy their chances of getting as the corner swings over. Joe Lewis under pressure just manages to get it away, and Dean Campbell is fouled there as he tried to bring the ball out of defence. The foul committed by Ivan Lepinjica.
Joe's in trouble.
Yeah, doesn't look good. Looks like his left knee.
Yeah, he landed very awkwardly, certainly. I can't remember, was it his left knee or his right knee that he damaged at Ibrox, Dave? Was it the left one?
Can't remember, to be perfectly honest. I think it was the left.
I think it was the left knee.
It doesn't look good. He looks like he's writhing around here.
Yeah.
Which isn't what you want on a night like this, is it? You know.
Oh no, you don't when you're captain and you're one of your main men. I think Gary Ritchie's just signalled to the bench, look, I think we can treat this. Yeah,
it landed really heavily, didn't it? He palmed the ball away and landed right down on his left knee.
It was one of those that he was getting clattered by one of the Rijeka players, and you felt it was a free kick against the attacker, but referee waved play on. He's fortunately back to his feet, and yeah, I think he'll be okay. So free kicks taken short to Ferguson. Ferguson across to Considine. Considine to Logan, forward to Hedges. Hedges, that's not a good ball though, gives it away, and here's Lončar with a chance to attack down the left hand side, plays it infield to Capan, but it's a good challenge from Lewis Ferguson at the expense of a throw in. Starting to become a little bit like a scene from Hitchcock's The Birds, with all these seagulls, and they're all in one half. There's one up the other end.
I'm just hoping they can distract the opposition team to give us the ball back, Andrew. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, it's a tall order looking for Seagulls to get you 5 goals, Michael, but we'll take any chance of getting anything. Here's Acosty, holds off Greg Leigh, knocks it back to his captain Kvržić, and turn to Župarić across to Punčec. As we approach the hour mark here at Pittodrie, not the story we wanted to bring you on this evening that we're all so looking forward to. It's 2-0 on the night to Rijeka against 10-man Aberdeen. Funso Ojo ordered off in the 19th minute after 2 very soft yellow cards. And here's Acosty feeding Kvržić. Kvržić into the middle, knocked away by McKenna at the near post, and that'll be a throw in. Goals in 10 minutes from Capan Lončar, and then the 32nd minute from Antonio Čolak have put the visitors 2-0 up in the night to add to the 2 that they scored back home a week ago. So 4-0 ahead on aggregate, and as we said at half time, the tie effectively over. Aberdeen just hoping that they can get something in this second half to send the fans home feeling slightly better about the evening. Maybe win the second half as Župarić plays the ball over to the left hand side. It's knocked in field, and it's Capan. Capan back to Punčec. Punčec forward, Lepinjica. Čolak trying to burst forward, but again there's good defending by Andrew Considine, and McKenna will play that forward looking for Main, but Župarić rises powerfully to head clear, and Halilović in midfield knocks it square to Punčec on the halfway line, moves forward. to Lončar. Lončar challenged, beaten there by Shea Logan, but Logan put under pressure as the ball is cleared off the heel of the Rijeka winger, says the referee, and that will be a throw in to the Dons. Any word on what the crowd is tonight, Dave? Have you seen a figure?
Yes, sorry, 15,246 with 62 away fans.
Well, it's the 62 that are the happier of the 15,246. They've made the journey across from Croatia to watch their favourites. As McKenna just gets onto that ball, knocks it back to Joe Lewis, who seems to be moving freely enough now. Clears it right-footed up the park. Curtis Main wins the header but can't direct it into the path of Hedges. It goes out of play for the throw-in. I think it was a boxing match. Michael would just be chucking the towel in, but we've got to see this game out, and we've got to try and, you know, as I said at half-time, restore a little bit of pride, because that pride will have been badly dented by this, because we were confident going into the game that we could turn it around if things went our way. But right from the 6th minute, when Funso Ojo got his first booking, you got the feeling that this just wasn't going to be Aberdeen's evening.
Yeah, I think the main thing is damage limitation. No more sending offs, no injuries, and take something out of the game. If you can get through the second half and try and get a result in the second half of the game, take the positives from it. It's been a disappointing night, but it's mainly been caused by the referee, Andrew, to be fair.
Well, it's a throw in over on the far side to Rijeka. It's Lepinjica challenged, beaten there by Lewis Ferguson. Ferguson bundled off the ball there by the number 29 Raspopović.
Still no yellow cards.
Still no yellow cards. I mean, Raspopović had a horrendous challenge on Lewis Ferguson in the first half, which was worthy of a yellow card, and that's just a blatant push in the back. It's a yellow as well. I mean, this referee has been so poor, so inconsistent. He could walk into the Scottish game. We've got Willie Collin to look forward to on Sunday. Willie's got to look like, you know, Pierluigi Collina compared to this boy.
I'll phone you on Saturday night and ask you what you think, or Sunday night, and ask you if you still agree with that.
Well, there's a free kick conceded by Dean Campbell. But you know what it's like, Michael, as a player, and you work with the PFA. You must have had players complaining about referees all the time. It's the inconsistency that really niggles.
Well, when I was at PFA, we done a pitch rater app where you'd rate the opposition pitches, and the biggest thing from the players was that they wanted to rate the referees. We didn't want to get involved with that. There'd be too many votes, but this guy's certainly taking the biscuit. He's been probably one of the worst I've seen for a long time.
And he's supposed to be Austria's top referee. Thank goodness we don't live there. Here's Kvržić to Acosty, back to the captain. In turn plays it back to Župarić. Now it's Halilović, busy little player in the middle of the park, plays a nice ball infield to Acosty. Acosty though takes his eye off it, and Dean Campbell nicks it away from him. Now Ferguson, back to Considine. McKenna to Dean Campbell, still deep inside Aberdeen territory. As Lewis Ferguson picks the ball up, plays it across to the right hand side to Shea Logan. Logan to Campbell. McKenna now. Really needs somebody to do something a bit special, as Curtis Main just loses out there to Župarić, and Punčec mops up at the back. Just to lift the crowd, if for no other reason. Just give them something to shout and cheer about. As Kvržić has it. Lepinjica. Over it goes. Punčec's got all the time in the world to chase after that. Play it forward to Capan. Back to Punčec once again. To Župarić. Punčec. Out wide there to Raspopović. Now it's Lepinjica. Picks it up. Lepinjica. No urgency about Rijeka's play. Just happy to let the ball move from side to side, try and tire Aberdeen out, and if they want to push forward and get another one, you feel they could step up another gear. But that's a slack ball. and Lončar can't stop it going out for a throw into the Dons, but it's a throw in a level with the Aberdeen penalty area. It's 80 yards away from the goal being tenanted by Andre Prskalo, and he's been pretty much a spectator throughout this second period. He had one save to make from Ryan Hedges at the end of the first half, but apart from that he's had a very quiet time. And there's Dean Campbell now, gets a yellow card for no worse a foul than any of the Rijeka players have committed, and you can see the smile in the youngster's face. He's probably just thinking the same as we are. Is this referee for real?
It's just so frustrating to watch. I mean, they stay down for longer. Aberdeen players that maybe need to take a leaf out of their book, do a couple of rolls after they go down, or stay down a bit longer, but it's getting frustrating now to watch. The referee's just, he's beyond a joke.
Well, it's big Čolak, who's a 6'2" striker, and he got the merest touch in the back of his calf from Dean Campbell, and he's gone down poleaxed and needing attention. Of course, nowadays you don't need to. It used to be you had to go off if you received attention, but if you've been receiving treatment for a challenge that earned a card, you don't have to go off. So he knew, fine, let's just have a wee rest. They come on, a wee spray of the magic spray onto the boot, didn't appear to go onto the leg at all, and play restarts. As you say, very frustrating, and I think it's important that the players keep their discipline, because they are up against 12 tonight, but we don't want to see any more cards if at all possible. Raspopović controls that, knocks it infield to Punčec. Župarić picks it up. So Dave, it's not a lot happening. I'll just pass on to you, and you can continue a diatribe against Herr Lechner for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Rijeka in possession down the left hand side, but Logan just intercepting, knocks the ball out for a Rijeka throw about 25 yards from Joe Lewis's goal, taken quickly. Halilović.
Ghent are a goal up now against the HNK Rijeka, so I think it's safe to say that Ghent will be playing Rijeka next week.
Ball over to Kvržić. Kvržić under pressure from John Gallagher. Gallagher forces Kvržić to knock the ball back to the goalkeeper. Now here's Halilović. Lončar, the scorer of the first goal, to back to Halilović, tries the crossfield pass, cut out with the head of Leigh. Then John Gallagher can't get past Lepinjica, and now Acosty plays it to Kvržić, the captain. Acosty. Župarić across to Punčec, and then forward. Halilović. And then back out to Kvržić, the captain, on the right hand side. He plays it back to Acosty, Maxwell Acosty, the impressive Ghanaian. Kvržić. And that's Kvržić straight to John Gallagher, but Gallagher loses out to Kvržić again. Capan back to Kvržić, and then Župarić.
One thing that is impressive about Rijeka is every time they lose the ball, they work like Trojans to get it back, and you know, there's 2 and 3 players surrounding the Aberdeen man in possession and invariably getting the ball back.
There's an aimless one for a change from Kvržić that goes straight out for a goal kick. Goal kick will be taken by Joe Lewis. Lewis launches it long and out of play as Acosty goes down, much to the disgust of Derek McInnes. Throw in away to down to our left. Kvržić back to Župarić, then back to the goalkeeper Prskalo, who launches it out to the left. Halilović, that's a good ball to find Capan. Capan striding forward. Andy Considine gets the clearance in, then Dean Campbell. Now Logan. Logan caught late there by Lončar, and is this going to be a yellow card? Hurrah! Well, Michael, it's taken him 71.5 minutes, but eventually that challenge on Shea Logan by Lončar earns their first yellow.
I think was the easiest decision he could have made, though. You know, that was a definite yellow card. You know, to be fair to Shea Logan, he never made a big deal of it. He just got up, but I think if he had made a big deal, it might even been a red from.
So, free kick taken short to Lewis Ferguson. Now McKenna. Campbell. Lewis Ferguson being held back. Ferguson gets it forward to Main, but Rijeka get the ball back.
Where's the advantage?
Yeah,
no
exactly.
advantage whatsoever. The man's an idiot.
Yeah, he is. Balls back to Prskalo. Now Župarić. I think James Wilson might be Aberdeen's last change. Raspopović down that left-hand side finds Lončar with a good ball. Lončar gets the cross in, but it goes behind, and that will be an Aberdeen goal kick with almost on the 73-minute mark. And it remains 2-0 for Rijeka on the night, 4-0.
I think they're going to make a change as well. Robert Murić, who scored the second goal in Croatia last week, is by the touchline ready to come on. James Wilson, who's number 8 in the Europa League and 28 in domestic games, squad number. But change isn't going to be made just yet as Ferguson plays it to Considine. Logan, that's a going goes straight to Raspopović, and the ball comes off Ryan Hedges and out for, and it will be Ryan Hedges who will make way for James Wilson, and I'm sure that's a move being made, Michael, with Sunday very much in mind.
Yeah, I think so. I think it also gives the big man some game time as well. He's obviously a quality player, but he needs a bit of game time as well.
And Ryan this time comes all the way across rather than walk off at the closest side. Probably if it is damage limitation, you do want to take longer to come off.
I think his teammates will be telling him to take longer. I think the Aberdeen players don't seem to have a way out. They can't keep the ball.
Murić on for Lončar, the goal scorer of the first goal.
Yeah, not wanting to risk him getting a second yellow card. Murić, of course, very quick. We saw how good a player he was last week.
Yeah, it was a good finish. Game will restart with the throw for the visitors. Halilović can't get past Dean Campbell. Campbell, then Ferguson in there to knock it back. Lewis Ferguson, who of course misses Sunday's game through suspension, Andrew.
He does. Seems a bit of a daft one that you carry forward 2 bookings from the latter stages of the Betfred Cup from last season, but them are the rules, so Fergie misses out.
Halilović.
Hopefully Craig Bryson might be fit.
Yeah, certainly scheduled to be back in training this week. Here's Considine. Lewis Ferguson to Dean Campbell. Now Leigh back to Campbell, all the way across to Considine, touched on to Logan. Now Ferguson knocks it back to Joe Lewis. 76 minutes almost played, still 2-0 to Rijeka. McKenna looking for Curtis Main, who gets the flick on. Meant for Wilson, but cleared by Raspopović, but Aberdeen have it back again with Considine across to square to McKenna. Now Leigh cuts inside and finds Campbell to Gallagher. Murić steps in ahead of the attempted return. Kvržić, Župarić, and now Punčec. Raspopović, Acosty tries to get himself away from Logan, cuts inside, plays it to Lepinjica, who switches play to the Rijeka right. Kvržić careering down this right hand side and checks, knocks it back to Murić, gets the early cross in, clearance from Andy Considine, but still not clear. But Greg Leigh will complete the clearance again. Nobody there. Back from Župarić, the head of Župarić, which Greg Leigh just doesn't let Čolak get the ball, so it runs out for an Aberdeen throw-in away to our right.
Midtjylland have got a goal back at Ibrox. Evander Ferreira makes it 3-1, but it's 7-3 the aggregate for the Ibrox club.
Župarić headed away by Dean Campbell, picked up by Lewis Ferguson, but his ball forward, nobody there in a red shirt, and straight through to Prskalo. Lepinjica.
Crowd starting to drift away, as you can understand.
Totally. Raspopović, Acosty. Now, a night that started off with so much hope and very quickly was extinguished early on with the first goal, and then the soft sending off of Funso Ojo. Joe Lewis just clears that ball up the park. Main will run for it, but it's headed away by Župarić. Murić to Halilović, tries to find Čolak, intercepted by Considine, and then McKenna gets that one wrong and it goes out of play for a Rijeka throw down in front of us. .11 minutes plus stoppage time remaining of this tie. Balls with Raspopović, and then Acosty back to Punčec. Župarić looking for the run of Kvržić. Greg Leigh matched it and just happy to knock that ball out for a throw-in level with the 6-yard line. Taken quickly to Murić. Župarić. Punčec back to Župarić. Lepinjica. Halilović. Župarić. Murić. Read well by Lewis Ferguson. Comes away with the ball and then gets upended. Free kick, Aberdeen. Lewis Ferguson certainly worked his socks off tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a class act. He fairly came on for Aberdeen, and he'll be a miss at the weekend for them. He's just comfortable getting on the ball all day, and he's looked for passes every time. Just before he gets the ball, you can always see his head turn around, looking to see what's round about him.
Aberdeen in possession. It's going to be a double change for Rijeka as that ball's played forward to Curtis Main. Takes it down well. Tried to put it into the path of Gallagher, but a bit too much on it, and Rijeka come away with the ball in the shape of their number 8, Halilović. He finds Acosty. Acosty comes forward, then out to the left. Acosty gets it back again. Now Halilović. Daniel Iglesias and I think it's Matej Vuk, the players about to come on in the next break. Župarić across to Punčec. Now Halilović. Capan. Punčec. Raspopović inside to Lepinjica. Župarić. Kvržić again down that right hand side, and it comes off Leigh and goes out for a corner kick, the 4th corner for Rijeka. Change will be made, and it's Acosty who's coming off to be replaced by Vuk.
Yeah, Acosty played well.
Yeah.
His pace down the right hand side caused us problems in the first half. Instrumental, and certainly one of the goals. Played well, as did Halilović, who's come off to be replaced by Daniel Iglesias. He's the guy that keeps everything just ticking over in the middle of the park for them. A neat, tidy little player.
It will be Robert Murić to take the corner kick. 8 minutes left. Down on the right hand side in front of the cross between the Merkland and the main stand. Left footed into middle it goes, and out it goes. I think it was McKenna that got the last, but it came off a... What's he been given? It did come off Scott McKenna last, and that will be a throw in to Rijeka. Kvržić will take it. And that runs harmlessly through to the waiting arms of Joe Lewis, who bowls the ball out to Ferguson. Back to Lewis. Now McKenna. Ferguson ever willing to take the ball and having to play very deep tonight in the circumstances. Leigh, now main. Back to Campbell. McKenna. Some groans from the fans at the ball going back the way, but keeping possession. Here's Wilson. Leigh. Ferguson to Campbell. Cross to Andy Considine. Logan and Considine play the 1-2. Again, the ball gets played back to McKenna. We go again. Here's Ferguson. Now Considine. Wilson to McKenna. Leigh. Gallagher. Nicely back to Leigh. McKenna. Considine to Campbell. Good possession just now by Aberdeen, Michael, but Rijeka not allowing them to go anywhere.
No, I think Aberdeen players will be happy just to keep the ball for a little bit. It's with the long spells without the ball, so as a player you're tired, you just want to keep it. So I think they'll opposition players will be happy that they're keeping it as well. They're not getting anywhere, but it's just playing down the clock now, Dave.
Yeah, 84.5 on the clock. Here's Wilson. Runs into trouble in the shape of Capan. Raspopović. Vuk plays it back to Raspopović. Inside to Lepinjica. Lepinjica again. Turns now Vuk. Kvržić. Capan. Murić. Rijeka's turn to enjoy a fair bit of possession. Raspopović gets the cross in, away by the head of Scott McKenna, and out for a Rijeka throw. We're inside the final 5 minutes now.
Well, this will be only the 8th time that we've lost both legs of a tie in Europe, stretching way back to the first time, which was Borussia Mönchengladbach 72-73, Liverpool, Porto, B1903, Copenhagen, Torino, Sigma Olomouc and Real Sociedad, the other sides that have beaten us both times.
Offside given against Capan. Free kick as the clock moves ever closer to the 90, and you can tell the Seagulls know it's almost full time because they're circling ready to get their dinner.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it, when you see them coming out and coming at you.
Flying rats.
Looking for Wilson there. Protected species, you mean, Andrew? As Curtis Main trying to burrow his way through. Picked up by Ferguson. He loses out and concedes the free kick. Over on the Rijeka left in front of the small band of very happy 62 Rijeka supporters. Župarić, now Kvržić. Inside Murić. Then pass came off Leigh and out for a Rijeka throw down in front of us, which Kvržić will take. Punčec. Raspopović forward to Vuk. Now Lepinjica. Raspopović continued his run, but that's a good challenge by Logan, and the ball out for a Rijeka throw. Maybe only 62 of them, Michael, but you can certainly hear them.
Yeah, you can hear them there. I was wondering what the noise was. I thought the Seagulls had got a pie, but it's away fans making a bit of noise.
And they'll enjoy we know what it's like. We certainly enjoy our European nights when the scoreline is the correct one, and we wish them all the best in the next round.
Yeah, they will be playing Ghent, who are 3-0 up, 4-1 up in aggregate. It was Michael Lustig managed to get himself booked though.
A yellow card for Curtis Main for a challenge. Has Curtis Main fouled anybody so far? I don't think he has.
Doesn't matter if you foul anyone, Dave. You usually get a yellow card off this referee for turning up.
And again, nothing much, and he got up very high, did Curtis, but
5 yellows and a red to Aberdeen tonight, and it's been anything but a dirty game. 1 yellow to the visitors.
Here's Župarić. Župarić gets the ball back again from Capan. And cross to Punčec. Back to Župarić. We're inside the final minute of normal time. Iglesias, Punčec, Raspopović. Then it's all the way back to Prskalo, the goalkeeper, who plays the ball across to Župarić, through to Iglesias. 1-2 with Čolak, picked up by Murić. Still Rijeka in possession, back to Čolak. Sorry, Murić rather. That's good interception by Leigh. Dean Campbell picks the ball up and then clears it, looking for Gallagher, but Župarić is there, happy to concede the throw in. The fourth official will let us know there'll be 3 minutes of stoppage time. And Aberdeen's run once again, Michael, ends at the third qualifying round, which is becoming a habit that we can't seem to get out of.
Yeah, we huff and puff, don't we? And tonight it's been a difficult one to take, and playing against good opposition, but the bookings and the red cards has just ruined the game for me. The referees wasted the game, which could have been a good game, you know, coming into it. If Aberdeen had 11 men, it would be a different story, I'm pretty sure of it.
Capan, Raspopović, Lepinjica plays it back to Punčec and then across to Župarić, and now Kvržić plays a nice 1-2 with Iglesias, then plays it into the middle where it's intercepted by Dean Campbell, who finds Gallagher. Leigh, then Campbell again. Nice play by Campbell, finds Leigh again. Then long ball forward, looking for Curtis Main, but it runs out.
I think the security of the police must be expecting their fans to come on the pitch. There's more of them, more of the security and police than there is fans over there now.
They've each got their own security guard.
It's like a buddy up system here, isn't it?
Picked up by Župarić, back to Prskalo, and now Punčec. As Rijeka come forward again, that's a good move. Raspopović inside to Čolak, but Logan in there just to get the ball off the Croatian player and knocks it out. We're in the third of the 3 minutes. Rijeka in control with Župarić out to his captain Kvržić, back to Župarić, and then Kvržić knocks it back to the goalkeeper.
Credit where credit's due, Dave. They've been a good team. They've kept the ball well and they've did their job well.
Yep. Lepinjica back to Župarić, and now Kvržić. Kvržić cuts inside John Gallagher and plays it to Čolak. Andy Considine there, and the free kick goes the way of the Aberdeen centre back. Full time at Pittodrie, it finished Aberdeen 0, Rijeka 2. 2 first half goals, and the sending off within 20 minutes of Funso Ojo for 2 yellows. The not the highlights of the match, but certainly the talking points. The first goal came from Lončar when he got on the end of a Kvržić cross after Acosty had played the ball.